You know the drama is never ending. Don't let it get the best of you. And all the fake friends just keep pretending. That's how the little things get you.
So I get this question here and there, and I wanted to answer it live. I do have a video that I am editing and will go up on my YouTube channel about this, but what does it feel like to find out you are donor conceived late in life? And the only comparison I can find, if I come up with a better comparison, I'll let you know, but the one that I can kind of relate to is feeling like finding out you're adopted late in life. So you've grown up your entire life thinking that your parents are your parents, biological parents, and then you come to the crushing discovery as an adult that your parents aren't your biological parents. It's the same thing. But in my situation, one of my parents, my dad, isn't my biological parent. So that's how I would compare it to. And also, I know there's other people out there who are experiencing the same thing. And I wanted to be able to share my experience. And it's not painful for me to do so. I really enjoy sharing, and it's a form of therapy. It's a form of art for me, and it helps others. And by speaking out, I do want to change the stigma behind with talking about child abuse and child sexual abuse, and also your origins. Finding out that you're donor conceived is really hard on your adult children. I don't think recipient parents should be keeping that a secret from their adopted children or donor conceived children. We shouldn't do that as a society. I think it's wrong. I'm not upset. Also, the other question I always get is like, are you upset at, the circumstances? So I'm not upset at the fertility industry. I know that the fertility industry is here to stay. It doesn't matter how I feel about the fertility industry, but I do feel that the fertility industry should be protecting the lives that it creates. And I don't feel protected. Not at all. Not in the least bit. With the situation with my parents wanting to keep my origins a secret from the world, that was painful enough. That was painful that I didn't have the right to know before having, turning into adult. I feel like I should have been given this information, and before family planning, of course, I should have been given this information because of the delay in me finding out that I'm donor conceived. It would have helped my daughter 8 years ago be diagnosed with her hereditary disease. I'm not going to say what it is, but I know it wouldn't have prevented her from getting this diagnosis, of course, but it would have helped her from suffering as long as she did as a child. And as a mother, that is so concerning that my own parents wouldn't find that to be concerning, that my child was in the hospital for a hereditary disease and I didn't have all of my family medical history. So that's another issue that it's so important that we tell our adopted children, our donor conceived children, hey, you are unique and special and worthy of this information because we care about your health, your future health. We care about your future children's health, and so on and so forth. It's so important that we educate and tell others that this is hiding secrets from your children hurts your child and hurts their children, and it continues on. It's going to continue on throughout the generations. We all need to know. We all need to be informed. The other issue, of course, is how do my parents feel about me coming out or talking about this? It was clear to me in childhood that their love was very conditional. There was a time that Child Protective Services did investigate the abuse that was happening in my house. And I was expected to lie for my parents to the Burlingame Police Department, and to lie to the school administrators, and to lie to the social worker. And because I didn't, I was then again punished as a child for not lying. And I realized, wow. And there was also other situations in my upbringing that reinforced that my parents' love is conditional. So after finding out I was donor conceived, I felt, after talking to my parents and realizing that they don't want me to share this with anyone, they didn't even want me contacting my donors, my half siblings, like all the people involved. They didn't want anything to do with it. They didn't want to hear about it. It made me feel unvalued. It made me feel unworthy. And it was so hard to fight those thoughts away in my head. And if you're feeling like that, just know that you're not alone. And this is a completely normal feeling. But I thought I should share that because I know there's some other people out there who are going through similar situations or maybe about the same, and I don't want others to feel alone. When I first found out that I'm donor conceived, I felt so alone and so belittled by my family that it wasn't that big of an issue. You're donor conceived, so what? Get over it. You should. The responses I was getting from them, and I hear this happening a lot, is that parents are telling their donor conceived child to just get over it. You should be grateful you're alive. What's the big deal? I can't relate to you because it's not my situation, it's yours. And that kind of attitude and stigma is really hurtful to us donor conceived people, or even if you're adopted. You don't treat people like that. You don't treat your children like that. And it's hurtful also for me in my situation, knowing that I was brought up in this Christian Slavic church, and my dad is a minister of the church, and I can't get through to him. I feel unheard. He's hurt me throughout my entire childhood. And I really wished that my dad and my parents were more understanding and loved me like Christian people I thought should love their children. So it was very confusing for me to be hit with all of this reality. And this is now my new reality, is just coping and taking it one day at a time, talking about it, speaking up, using my voice, because I'm not the only one. Since coming out, I've realized that abuse in churches is common, and there is a lot of unreported abuse happening in these churches, and more specifically in the Slavic churches, which is insane. It really is, that we, women and survivors, are not talking about it or reporting because we're afraid of what the ministers of the church will say if we report abuse happening in the church. It's crazy. So if you don't have the confidence to speak up, try getting therapy. Talk to someone close to you. Tell them how you're feeling. Don't bottle it up. Bottling up secrets is painful, and we shouldn't have to do it. We shouldn't have to hide secrets for those who aren't safe. Don't do it. Don't let the secret jar ferment any longer. It's a freeing experience to be able to talk about it behind closed doors. And then, of course, when you're ready, don't be ashamed of who you are. Your experience, your life journey might help someone else, and it's such a freeing experience. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and share that. I do have more videos that are going to go up on my YouTube channel on Donor Conceived Queen. I'm excited for that. It's a journey that I want to share with others because I know I'm not alone in this. But yeah, drop a comment if you watched, or leave an emoji down below. Show me some love, like it, and see you later. Have a good weekend.
You know the drama.